Hi, welcome back guys. This is your sensei, back with another fanfiction. This is the first part of What If Female Naruto Was Overpowered Fox Host. Now before starting, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this. Now let's get into the fanfic. Name, Naruto Nozomi Uzumaki. Date of birth, October 10th. Looks, blonde hair with red highlights, blue and green eyes, 5 feet 1 inch, long eyelashes, rosy cheeks, full pink lips, dark whisker marks on cheeks, slits for pupils, fangs. Clothes, a red kimono, black weapon pouch. Bio, likes all animals, cares about everyone, never gives up, favorite color is purple, loves dango, a little eccentric, can talk to Kurama in her mind. Chapter end. It was a quiet night in Konoha. Shinobi were reporting missions to the 4th Hokage, Minato Namikaze. At that moment, Minato's wife, Kushina Uzumaki, was giving birth to triplets in a secret location. Kushina, you're doing great, just keep breathing, Minato tried to comfort her. You try pushing 3 watermelons out. Kushina was clearly in pain, and the seal was taking a toll on her weakened body. After a few intense moments, the first child arrived, then the second, and finally the third. I'm a father, Minato exclaimed, overwhelmed with joy. He held 3 beautiful babies, one with Kushina's red hair and green eyes, another resembling Minato with blonde hair and blue eyes, and the last child, whose eyes were closed, making it impossible to see their color. What would you like to name them, Kushina? Minato asked, holding the youngest child, a girl, while Kushina cradled the middle child, a boy. The girl's name will be Nanami Namikaze, the boy will be Nair Namikaze, and the eldest. What gender is the oldest child? The medic ninja looked at the child, then back at Kushina. The child is a. Gasp. Blood trickled from the ninja's mouth. She had been injured by a katana blade, and a masked man held the child in his grasp. Give me the 9 tails Jinchuriki, or this child dies at the tender age of 3 minutes. Time skipped to the theft. Minato was preparing to seal away the 9 tails when the 3rd Hokage rushed to him. No, Minato, you're too young, you just got a family. Don't do this. Hiruzen urged. I'm sorry, Hiruzen, but I must do this for the village, Minato replied resolutely. No, I'm sorry, Minato, but I have to do this. In one swift motion, Hiruzen knocked Minato out and completed the seal himself, placing the In into Nanami, the Yang into Naru, and the spirit and 1 tail of chakra into the unnamed child. Hiruzen knew the eldest would face challenges in life, so he used a jutsu to change the girl into a boy. As his spirit departed the world of the living, Hiruzen thought, be brave, young one, and never give up. Minato awoke to find Hiruzen lifeless, his children crying, and the eldest transformed. The child now had blue eyes with slits instead of pupils, fangs, and dark whisker marks on his face. Minato believed the 9-tailed spirit was too much for the baby to handle, causing it to take over his body. Kushina survived the extraction thanks to the seals she had placed on her body to restore her chakra in case something went wrong during childbirth. Kushina and Minato agreed to place the newly named Naruto in an orphanage while they trained Nanami and Nair to control their parts of the 9 tails chakra. Little did they know that their 3rd child was destined for greatness, one that would change the future for better or worse, and that he would become the hero of the shinobi realm. If they had known, they could have been the support he needed, the stepping stones to a peaceful future, all because of one misjudgment that could plunge the world into great danger. Chapter end. Naruto's perspective, 4 years after the 9 tails attack. And stay away, you demon brat. Those were the words I heard before being thrown out of the orphanage for good. I didn't care. The matrons never took care of me. There was hardly any food, warm water, or education, and all the other kids hated me for reasons I couldn't understand. With what little I owned, I left to find shelter for the night. Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Naruto Uzumaki, I'm 4 years old, I love ramen, I hate menma, and my hobbies include eating ramen and pranking. My dream is to be the best Hokage ever. Back to my story. I found a nice place to stay for the night, maybe even for good. It was an old, run-down apartment building that had been neglected since the 9 tails attack. It had 2 floors, each holding 3 apartments. Each apartment had 4 rooms, a bedroom, a bathroom, a living room, and a kitchen, totaling 6 apartments and 24 rooms. I decided to live on the 2nd floor in the 2nd apartment, so if any villagers came to hurt me, I'd have time to escape before they reached my door. Inside, I found some furniture left behind. The living room had a couch and a coffee table, the kitchen had a small table and 4 chairs, the bathroom had turned into a storage room with shelves, and the bedroom contained a mattress, a desk, and a chair. It wasn't much. The walls had holes, the ceiling was caving in, and the floors were rotting away, but it would do for a couple of years. I set my bag down on the mattress, looked out of the balcony window, and thought to myself, I hate Konoha. Chapter End. Naruto's perspective, 5 years after the Nine Tails attack. Get the demon. Kill it. Murder. Satan's spawn. These are just some of the many things the shinobi and civilians of Konoha were shouting at me right now. I didn't understand why they called me these things. I had never killed or hurt anyone. At that moment, I was being chased around the village by at least 30 people, all armed and intent on harming me. Please, anyone help me. Please help me. I screamed at the top of my lungs, but as always, no one came to my aid. It was like this every year on my birthday. They celebrated the defeat of the nine-tailed fox and the birth of the Hokage's son and daughter, then chased me all over the village. Kill him. Kill the beast. They cornered me in an alley. I try to escape, but before I can make it out of the crowd, 2 shinobi kick me back into the alley. Oh no, you're not getting away from us this year, you demon. You're going to pay tonight. The shinobi approach, accompanied by the villagers. The assault begins, and I feel kicks and punches striking every part of my body. The pain is overwhelming, and just before my vision fades to black, I hear someone say, "Let's leave. With all that blood, he'll be gone within the hour." Then, everything goes dark. Where am I? It's all I can think. Everything is so dark, I can't see anything, and all I hear is my own breath and the sound of dripping water. So, you've finally come to see me, Naruto. A dark voice fills the emptiness. Suddenly, the space brightens. In front of me is a large cage containing a nine-tailed fox, but it looks strange. 8 of its tails are almost see-through, while only 1 is full. Alongside the fox is a woman with black hair and purple eyes. Who are you? I asked the fox and the lady. I am Kurama, or as you humans call me, the nine-tailed fox, Kurama replies. I then turn to the woman. And you are? Young Naruto, I am Yuki, or to humans, I am the Jubi. You probably have many questions, so please ask away. Where am I? And why are you in a cage? We are in your mindscape, Naruto, and the reason we're in this cage is that we're sealed within you. After Kurama finishes speaking, I finally receive the answers I've sought for years. My parents are Kushina Uzumaki and Minato Namikaze. I'm a girl. The townspeople hate me because the 4th Hokage told them I was the demon. Kurama expresses his sorrow for the hardships I've faced, but he adds that if it weren't for those experiences, I wouldn't be the person I am today. It's time for you to wake up, Naruto. Oh, and I've created a mind link between you, me, and Kurama. Thank you, Yuki. When I wake up, the first thing I hear is, I'm sorry, but the Lord Hokage instructed us not to heal this demon. But if you don't, she will die. Not my problem. I swear, if you don't heal her right now, I'll make you regret it. And that's all I hear. My own father, no, he's never been a father to me. That man told the doctors not to heal me. Why can't he see that I'm not the demon he thinks I am? I need to prove them wrong. From now on, I will no longer be weak. I will train hard and follow the ninja code. I know I will become Hokage. When I wake up again, it's morning. Hey, Kurama, Yuki, what happened? I ask in my mind. Well, after that person threatened the doctors, they healed you, Kurama explains. I don't think they trusted the doctors, so they're probably waiting outside for you to wake up, Yuki adds. Just then, the door opens and 2 people enter. One appears to be about 12, with raven black hair tied in a low ponytail and matching eyes. The other looks around 20, with spiky silver hair swept to the side. He wears a cloth mask covering the lower half of his face and an oversized forehead protector that obscures his left eye. I can't help but think, the only part of his face I can see is his right eye? Hello there, my name is Kakashi Hatake, the silver-haired man begins, gesturing to his companion. This is Itachi Uchiha. I smile and say, thank you for saving me, Hatake-san and Uchiha-san. But if you don't mind me asking, won't you get in trouble with the Hokage? Itachi blinks in surprise and replies, it was no problem. The Hokage can't do anything since, even if you are in the academy, you are still technically a civilian. There is a law against harming civilians. Please call me Itachi. I nod, still smiling in gratitude. Thank you, Itachi-san and Kakashi-san. Can I leave now? Go right ahead, we won't stop you, Kakashi replies. After they leave the room, I change into my regular clothes and leap out the window. Kit, Kurama begins, it's time to start your training. Do you know somewhere you can train without being disturbed? Also, what do you know? I can control my chakra well enough, climb trees and walk on water. I can also perform the 3 academy jutsus, but my shadow clones need work. I can throw kunai and shuriken well though. That's a pretty good start, Yuki exclaims. I think the reason your shadow clones are not working well is that you have too much chakra and can't control it all. We'll be teaching you the shadow clone technique. Really? I whisper, excited. There's an abandoned training ground we can use, and it's close to my apartment. Don't go just yet, we need to buy some equipment, Kit, Kurama says. I frown, annoyed. But the villagers always overcharge me by at least double the original price. Why don't you just use the transformation technique so people won't recognize you? Yuki suggests politely. I blink, then smack my forehead. Why didn't I think of that? Yeah, let's go. What do we need to buy? We need some practice wooden swords, chakra weights, special paper to test your affinities, and some ink and seal paper. Oh, and Kit, your training regimen will be to wake up at 4 a.m. and run around Konoha 15 times while wearing weights. After that, we'll do genjutsu training. At 6 a.m., we'll focus on taijutsu training, and once you finish, we'll move on to fuinjutsu, ninjutsu, and kenjutsu training. You'll get a 10-minute break between each switch, and if we think of anything else you need to work on, we'll add that to your regimen as well. Kurama exclaims, and I can feel his enthusiasm. What have I gotten myself into? After buying everything we need, I dash to the training ground, eager to start. I groan, feeling the weight of the training ahead. Okay, Kit, first I will teach you how to summon me and Yuki so we can train you. Hi. What do I do? I asked. Well, first you need to come and see us in your mindscape, Yuki exclaimed. Okay, let me see. First I need to concentrate and there. Very good, Kit. Here, sign these. Kurama passed me what looked like summoning scrolls. I opened them. Okay, bite your thumb, write your name, then press all your fingers in your blood and place them at the bottom. I bit my thumb and signed in my best handwriting. There. I said, satisfied. Yuki nodded and said, okay, copy me and then say, Kuchios no Jutsu. Make sure you pour in your chakra and focus on who you want to summon. Later on, once you know some sealing techniques, we will put 2 seals so you can just spread blood on them to summon us. Now go. After being pushed out of my mindscape, I summoned Kurama and Yuki, and they began training me, which is how I ended up like this. I dragged myself to my apartment and collapsed on my bed, thinking I hoped the rest of my training wouldn't be like that. Needless to say, it was. Nozomi, 9 years old. Haha. I looked back over my shoulder. Those drunken shinobi were still chasing me. I turned back around and crashed into a woman with purple hair wearing a trench coat with fishnet underneath. I'm sorry I bumped into you. I apologized, hearing the screams and threats behind me as I took off toward the training grounds. If I had bothered to look back, I would have seen the purple-haired woman looking shocked, then taking down the shinobi and silently following after me. As soon as I got there, I heard, "Hey brat, why did all those people threaten you? They hate you more than me." I turned around to see the woman I bumped into and said, "They hate me because I am the Jinchuriki for the Kyuubi." Hearing her intake of breath, I chuckled darkly and sat on the ground, feeling the woman sit next to me. I turned towards her in surprise and asked, "Don't you hate me as well?" "Well, we're a lot alike, you and I," she started. "My sensei betrayed the village really badly, so now they blame me for his crimes. His name was Orochimaru." My eyes widened and I gasped. "You know," she continued, "you look like you need some cheering up. How about we go get some dango, and then I'll train you?" I felt my eyes tearing up and whispered, "You mean it?" She nodded, stood up, and started walking away. When she realized I wasn't following, she said, "Well, let's go." I nodded and chased after her. Maybe all these people aren't so bad. Chapter End. Naruto, age 11. Enko-sensei, my graduation test is tomorrow. I can't be severely injured, or else someone will notice something is up. And stop chasing me. I yelled as I ran with Enko chasing after me, throwing kunai and sunban while I desperately tried not to get hit. Then do something about it. After all, this is training. Enko yelled from behind me. I could feel her smiling mischievously. "Fine, I will," I screamed. I jumped up, took 2 kunai from my pouch, and used them to deflect the flying projectiles. I then ran forward, dodged one of them, and quickly placed an explosive note on the other before throwing it straight after. I jumped back, and the resulting explosion created a large crater in the middle of the training ground, causing dark smoke to fill the area. Sensing Enko coming from my left, I quickly performed some hand signs and exclaimed, "Swaying, water dragon technique." Enko, however, dodged and said, "Hey, I thought we agreed on no ninjutsu." I stuck my tongue out and exclaimed, "Well, we're ninjas. When do we ever play fair? Besides, it's time for us to leave anyway. It's already 9:30 p.m. "Well said, Kit. When do ninjas ever play fair? And that was a really poor display today. You wouldn't even be able to beat a chunin with that," Kurama remarked. "Shut up. I didn't see you offering any ideas. Besides, we've already been training for the last 5 hours, and it's the graduation exam tomorrow, so I've only been using 1/8 of my strength today. I also sealed away most of my chakra, so it feels like I have the reserves of an average chunin." Enko looked surprised and muttered, "Already? I was just warming up, and we haven't even done any dangerous jutsus yet. Though whatever. Good luck with your graduation exam tomorrow, Naruto." "Thanks," I murmured and started towards home. The next day at the academy, I stared up at the ceiling and tapped my fingers against the table, bored, waiting for the next person to come out. There were only 2 people left before my turn. Lucky me, having the last name Uzumaki and being last on the list. I sighed as Irika-sensei called out the next name, Tsukino Aki. There was only one more person on the list before me, the one I hated the most. I sighed and thought, "Yuki, Kurama, today is the day I become a genin, a real ninja. This isn't a game anymore. Once I pass this exam, I'll have to go on real missions, maybe even dangerous ones." "What are you saying, Nozomi?" Yuki asked, confused. I assiged in my breath and released it all at once. "I know you guys said to hide my strength so I wouldn't get targeted by the villagers because as long as they thought I was weak, they would mostly leave me alone. Now I'm going to be a real ninja. I can't afford to hold back. The mask is coming off. It's time for me to show everyone my real strength, starting with this graduation exam. If it's what you want, Nozomi, go for it. Don't let them hold you back any longer, but beware, once the mask is down, the Hokage will start watching you, fearing that Kurama has taken over." "Yes, Yuki. I don't want to be Naruto the idiot, I want to be Nozomi, the greatest ninja the world has ever seen." While I had been talking to Yuki, the person inside had finished and called the next name. He walked out holding a forehead protector, and all the girls squealed. I rolled my eyes. Of course they did. The person before me was none other than Uchiha Sasuke, the most annoying, egotistical person on the planet. Did I mention he was so brooding? Please. I swear the only things that guy wears are navy blue and black. And he also has that ridiculous duck butt hairstyle. I wonder if he did something terrible to get that. Oh no, he's coming over to me. Why couldn't he just stay there and say my name? Anyway, he walked up to me and said coolly, "Uzumaki," before turning on his heel and walking away. Great, Now all his fangirls are following him. I hope they actually catch him today and he has to endure their constant questions and requests for dates all day long. Well, whatever. It's time for me to shine and reveal my true power to everyone. I stood up and walked toward the doorway for the exam. I'm not holding back anymore now or ever. The happy, smiling, go-lucky Naruto is gone. There is only Nozomi left, and though I still have my genjutsu active, I plan on making everyone know who the best around here really is. No turning back now. The exam room was pretty small. The only things in the room were 3 chairs, 2 for the instructors and 1 for the student. The desk at the far end of the room held the 2 instructors, Irika and Mizuki. Good luck, kid, Kurama's voice spoke in my head. Okay, Naruto, all you have to do is perform the 3 academy jutsus. If you can, use an extra jutsu for more points, Irika said softly, but his tone suggested he thought I would fail. First up is the substitution jutsu, Mizuki said, a hint of disdain in his voice. To their surprise, I performed the jutsu without any hand signs. Okay, next up is the transformation jutsu, Mizuki said, sounding worried. Still using no hand signs, I transformed into the 3rd Hokage. Okay, Naruto, now all you have to do is make a clone. Easy, Irika finally spoke up, looking happy for me. Irika-sensei, I can't do a clone, I said, feeling disappointed. Then you can't be a ninja. Goodbye. Mizuki tried to shove me out of the room, but I sidestepped him and turned back to Irika. You didn't let me finish. I was going to say I can't do the academy-style clone, but I can do a different style of clone. Irika looked up and said, Okay, Naruto, show us your clone jutsu. I nodded and did the hand signs for the shadow clone jutsu. 5 clones popped into existence. Naruto, those are solid clones. Congratulations, you are an official genin of Konoha. Please pick your headband. I walked up to the desk and picked a black headband. Placing it around my neck, I took a moment to think. 1 step closer to being the most powerful ninja in all the elemental countries. Congrats, Nozomi, you deserve it. Nice job, you showed them. Thanks, guys, for the help. No problem, kid Nozomi. Looking out through a window down at Konoha, I thought, you better be ready, Konoha, because Nozomi Uzumaki is coming at you. I did it. I became a ninja. Beat that Sasuke. I'm so much better than you and all your brooding. By the time I got home, it was almost 10 o'clock at night. The only people outside at this time were drunken idiots and Jonin returning from missions. Hey, kid, there's something going on outside your apartment. I looked out my window just in time to see Mizuki running past with the forbidden scroll on his back. He looked as if he had just committed a crime and was running for his life. I did what any ninja would do if they saw an enemy ninja. I followed him. What would Mizuki need with that scroll? Isn't it forbidden? I thought. Kid, Kurama called, be careful. This Mizuki person is not anything like Irika. He feels different and not in a good way. Right, don't worry. I'll be careful, and even if Mizuki does attack me, I'll be ready to take him down. After all, like I said, no more holding back. I will show everyone that I'm just as good as anyone else. I exclaimed, confidence pouring from every word. After my inner monologue, I noticed that Mizuki was heading toward a clearing near the exit of Konoha. I yelled out in my mind, I knew Mizuki was a bad guy. He's probably trying to escape with the forbidden scroll. But just in case, I'm going to go check it out. Okay, Kurama, Yuki? Yes, but be careful. I don't want you to get hurt, Yuki called out, her voice slightly worried. I grinned and jumped down, yelling, Mizuki, what are you doing with the forbidden scroll of sealing? He looked at me and started laughing maniacally. What do you think I'm doing, you demon? I'm leaving. Konohagakure is too soft for keeping a demon like you. I'm going to Lord Orochimaru, who will grant me unimaginable power for giving him this scroll. Orochimaru? Isn't that the name of Anko's old sensei? The one who betrayed her? I thought. Then Mizuki yelled, but now that you know this, I can't just let you live. I'll take you down here and now, demon, and do everyone a favor. He threw one of the oversized shuriken on his back at me, and I dodged, jumping out of the way. Then things went terribly wrong. Irika jumped out of the bushes, yelling, "What is the meaning of this, Mizuki? How could you steal the sacred scroll of sealing and betray Konoha?" Mizuki turned around and said, "How could I betray Konoha? What has Konoha ever done for me? Nothing, that's what. And what about you, Irika? You still treat that demon like that when it killed your parents and so many other lives." He pointed at me and said, "Naruto, do you know why everyone in Konoha hates you?" "Mizuki, don't. It's forbidden to tell him." Irika yelled, running to attack him, only to be pushed to the ground by Mizuki's punch. Mizuki laughed and yelled, "You, Naruto, are the demon fox that attacked Konoha 11 years ago." I froze, then started laughing so hard I almost fell down. "That was the big news you were going to share?" "You idiot, I already know that. I mean, it's kind of hard not to figure it out when everyone around you calls you a demon fox, and as far as I know, only one demon fox ever attacked Konoha." Mizuki's expression darkened. "Fine, if I can't have my revenge on you, I'll take it out on Irika, the demon lover." He lunged at Irika, attempting to strike him with a kunai. I shot forward, deflecting the kunai and delivering a swift punch to Mizuki's face. He stumbled back, releasing Irika, and I followed up with a series of powerful punches and kicks, leaving Mizuki no chance to retaliate. I finally ended the confrontation with a decisive kick to his face, leaving him incapacitated. It was clear that Mizuki would never look the same again. He collapsed, and the Konoha Umbu arrived to take him away. They saluted me and were about to vanish when Mizuki, in a last-ditch effort to harm Irika, hurled a kunai at him from a short distance. I could have easily blocked it, but instead I decided to demonstrate my advanced bloodline limit, known as Dojutsu. The kunai froze midair before dropping to the ground with a thud. My eyes concealed in shadow, no one noticed the change. The Umbu stared at the fallen kunai, and I smirked, allowing my eyes to return to normal. They shook their heads, and I heard one of them mutter, "Must have been the wind." They took Mizuki away, who had long since exhausted himself. "Naruto, are you okay?" Irika called out, just waking up. "I'm fine, Irika-sensei, but are you okay?" "Mizuki hit pretty hard back there." "I'm fine, Naruto. It's just a scratch, I've seen much worse. Let's head back to the village." "Okay, but you're buying me ramen as thanks for saving you, sensei." I helped Irika to his feet, turned around, and we began walking back to the village, Irika not far behind. "You did well, Nozomi. You did well. Okay, class, settle down. It's time for you to be assigned to your genin teams. And can someone please wake Shikamaru up?" It was Monday, the day all the genin graduates would be placed on their teams. I hoped I wouldn't be on a team with Nanami and Naru. Team 1 is. Time skip 30 minutes later. Team 7 is Sasuke, Sakura, and Sai, with Kakashi as their sensei. Team 8 is Shino, Kiba, and Hinata, with Kurinai as their sensei. Moving on, Team 10 is Ino, Choji, and Shikamaru, with Asuma as their sensei. Team 11 is Naru, Nanami, and Naruto, with Kushina as their sensei. Those are all the teams. Your senseis will be here in a few minutes. A loud thud echoed as I repeatedly banged my head on my desk, muttering under my breath. Before Irika could leave the room, Naru spoke up. "Why do I have to be on a team with that loser, Irika-sensei? Why isn't Sasuke on our team?" Irika looked at Naru, clearly frustrated. "Well, Naru, your father, the Hokage, put your team together to help strengthen each other's weaknesses. You excel at ninjutsu, Nanami is the best at genjutsu, and Naruto is skilled in taijutsu. If you want to change it, talk to your father." That silenced him. Just as Irika finished speaking, our red-haired jonin entered the room, glanced at my team, and said, "Team 11, Training Ground 13 in 15 minutes. We all knew that Training Ground 13 was more than 15 minutes away from the academy. As soon as our sensei left, I started running toward the training ground, with Naru and Nanami trailing behind. I reached Training Ground 13 in less than 6 minutes, moving at half my speed while weighed down by over 1,000 pounds and without using chakra. I was pretty impressive. When I arrived at the center of the field, Kushina was waiting for me. She looked up as I jogged in, clearly surprised by my speed. Deep in her eyes, I sensed a mix of anger and something else. Was it hope? But that flicker quickly faded, along with any other emotions. I sat down a few feet away and began to meditate. So, Kit, can you let me out so I can confront that child? Please, let me join Kurama Nozomi. I have some not-so-kind words for her. No killing anyone, at least not yet. But, no buts. You all need to stay low, or the Hokage will tighten the seal, and I won't be able to communicate with you anymore. Fine, but I at least want you to talk some sense into that red-headed monster. So what do you want to do until your team arrives? Poker. 5 minutes later. I win again, I said, laying out a king, queen, jack, and ace in front of me. How do you do it? My money. Trade secret. Nozomi, it's time for you to wake up. Your team is arriving now. Thank you, Yuki and Kurama. Stop growing mushrooms in the corner. The money wasn't even real. Outside Nozomi's head. When I came out of my trance, I could see 2 slow-moving red and yellow dots in the distance, and a minute later, they stood by Kushina. Where is that loser Naruto? Hopefully, he went to Dad to stop being a ninja because he won't make it out there in the real world. Maybe he's all the way back in the village. Naru started ranting about how powerful and strong he was until Nanami decided to interrupt. I'm positive Naruto would never give up on his ninja dream and that he'll be here any second. Before Naru could start ranting again, Kushina said something. Naruto got here 8 minutes before you. He is right over there. Kushina raised her left hand and lazily pointed in my direction. I slowly got up and walked over to my team. Hi. Well, let's get to know each other. I'm Kushina Namikaze. I like my 2 kids, ramen and animals. I dislike demons and people who think girls are useless. Hobbies are training and drawing. Now your turn, Naru. Chapter end. Name, Naru Namikaze. Birthday, October 10th. Age, 11, youngest of the triplets. Likes, the night, the color auburn, sushi, his family, scorpion sand music. Dislikes, death, blood, traitors and murderers. Hobbies, training, taking long walks and reading. Dream, to be the most powerful ninja in Konoha. His real dream is to create a cure for all diseases and poisons. Friends, Sasuke Kiba, Niji. Enemies, Naruto, more of a rival, Orochimaru, Akatsuki, and the masked man who killed his brother. He does not know Nozomi is alive. His parents told him that his brother was killed in the attack. Crush, Tenten, the only girl in Konoha who takes being a ninja seriously. Personality, goth, emo, rude, overprotective, has anger issues, but beneath it all, he is very caring, especially toward friends and family. Job on the team, healer training under Tsunade and skilled with traps. 3. Intelligence, 2. Stamina, 7. Chakra control, 2. Chakra elements, wind, earth, water, mud. Weapons, kunai, shuriken, a black katana with a red hilt, seals, senbon. Summon, scorpions, mostly one named Kuro. Kuro is the size of a house cat and still growing. Family, Kushina. Mother, Minato. Father, Nanami. Older sister, Kich. 2-year-old baby brother, Akira. 2-year-old baby sister, Jiraiya. Godfather, Mikoto. Godmother, Nozomi Naruto. Eldest sibling. He does not know she is his sibling yet. Chapter end. Name, Nanami Namikaze. Birthday, October 10th. Age, 11. Likes, cinnamon buns, owls, the color gold, nature, animals, her family and friends. Dislikes, Orochimaru, Akatsuki, the masked man, who took her sister away, being hated, or people hurting her friends and family. Hobbies, training, gardening, baking, playing shogi. Dream, to become a great shinobi so she can help save others. Personality, kind, bipolar, the perfect example of a girly girl, but not afraid of getting dirty and not obsessed over boys, hardworking, always happy, and it's really hard to get her mad. But if you do, run, for she will surely unleash her wrath, outgoing. Friends, Hinata, Tenten, Shikamaru, Shoji buddy. Choji, cooking buddy. Shino, and Lee youth. Family, Kushina, mother, Minato, father, Nair, younger brother, Kich, 2-year-old little brother, Akiko, 2-year-old little sister, Tsunade, godmother. Enemies: Orochimaru, Akatsuki, the masked man, Ino, Sakura. Summon owls, mainly one named Yuri. Job on team, long-range fighting and survival specialist. Crush, Shino. Chapter end. Okay, Naruto, tell us a bit about yourself. I looked over at my team and started to speak. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, and don't you forget it. My likes are ramen, training, ramen, animals, ramen, nature, ramen, rain, and pranking. Nozomi was talking so fast that all they could hear was ramen and pranking. My dislikes are the 3 minutes you have to wait for the water to boil when cooking ramen, people who try to hurt the innocent just for fun, and people who call me something I'm not. My hobbies include pranking and eating ramen, training with Enko, Yuki, and Kurama, looking at the stars, and learning new things. My dream for the future is to get people to see me as a hero and to create peace throughout the whole world. Even if it seems impossible, I will find peace and hold on to it as long as I can. My talents are sealing, ninjutsu, kenjutsu, and stealth. I don't have any friends or enemies until I can trust them. Kushina nodded as she tried to take in what she had just heard. After a few moments of silence, she finally spoke up. Alright, that's it for introductions. Tomorrow at 7 a.m., come here for your second Genin exam. Nair looked up, surprised that there would be another test, and began to complain. But, Mom, aren't we already Genin? We took a test and everything. Shouldn't we just go straight to missions? Kushina chuckled, and once she stopped laughing, she explained. Nair, the first test was to see if you were ready to become Genin. This test will determine if you are truly Genin material. To be honest, only 4 teams will start taking missions, the rest will return to the academy. What? Great, now I have a headache because of those 2. So, come to this training ground tomorrow at 7. Don't be late and don't eat breakfast, you'll regret it. With that, Kushina used Shunshin and left us alone in the field. Not long after, I used Shunshin no Jutsu and flickered away to appear in front of my house. It wasn't the same house I had when I was kicked out of the orphanage, but it was still on the rough side of town. It was a bit larger than my old home in an abandoned apartment building, but the landlord still charged me double what I should be paying. Now, what's the plan for tomorrow? I knew the test would involve teamwork, which my team lacked. Naru was full of himself and stubborn, while Nanami would want to pair up with Naru since they had been training together and covered each other's weaknesses. So what now? I can help you with the partner problem, Kit. How? I can give you the Fox Summons contract, but promise me you won't harm or abuse the foxes. They are my family. Okay, Kurama, I promise not to harm or abuse any foxes that may be summoned using that contract. As soon as I finished my promise, the fox summoning scroll appeared before me. All you have to do is sign your name in blood and press a bloody handprint beside your name. If your name glows, it means the foxes have accepted you as their summoner. I followed Kurama's instructions. Moments later, my name and handprint glowed and turned black. Time to try it out. Kuchios no Jutsu. A cloud of smoke appeared where I placed my bleeding finger. As the smoke cleared, I began to see a shape standing in front of me. A minute later, the smoke dissipated, revealing a white 3-tailed fox. Hello. You must be our new summoner. My name is Tama. I'm an Arctic fox who can control snow, wind, ice, and water. I specialize in stealth, information gathering, and traps. Hello, Tama. I'm Nozomi, but in front of others, call me Naruto. I am an 11-year-old female ninja who hides my gender to avoid harm. I can control all the elements and specialize in Fujitsu, Kenjutsu, Ninjutsu, stealth, assassination, interrogation, and taijutsu. So, why did you summon me, Nozomi-sama? Kit, tell her that you want to learn the fox taijutsu style and kenjutsu style. Also, tell her about me. I relayed Kurama's message to Tama. Okay, I'll inform the boss summon that you wish to be trained by the clan. I'll be back in 1 week to start your training. With that, she reverse summoned herself back to what Kurama called the den. I walked over to the kitchen to prepare my dinner, onigiri, sushi, and miso soup. So, kid, are you really going to follow your sensei's advice and skip breakfast tomorrow? Oh, absolutely not. I need my energy. Remember, high metabolism means I need to eat more than others. Nozomi, remember to give that woman a hard time, or I will come out and take care of her for you. I will, Yuki. You know how long I've wanted to legally confront her. Good. Now sit down and eat your dinner, then come into your mind for some training. Magical time skip of awesomeness. In Nozomi's mind. I opened my mind and looked around. A few years ago, I transformed my mind from the sewer it started as into something much better. Right now, it looked like a vast forest filled with various wild animals like deer, minks, rabbits, wolves, bears, foxes, and so much more. In the middle of the forest, there was a one-story house for Yuki, a training ground, and a large cave filled with my memories and everything I had ever learned. Time moved slower in my mind. 30 minutes outside equated to an hour inside. So if I slept for 6 hours, I could train for 12. I sent out 5 clones for Yuki to train me with, and when I finished, Kurama popped out to talk. Okay, time to get started on a new jutsu. It's similar to the Izanagi's man-beast clone, but instead, you will transform into a real fox, not a clone. After the transformation, you will permanently be able to communicate with animals. Your senses will be heightened even more, and you can achieve a half form that gives you fox ears and up to 10 tails, depending on your strength. Ready to start? I'm ready. All you have to do is make the ram, tiger, dragon, and dog hand signs, focus your chakra into your hand, and say, Kitsun style, Akuma Kitsune no Jutsu. 11 hours later, really only 5.5. I looked down at my new fox form, a black fox with one white ear, adorned with the kanji for hope on my neck. I surveyed my surroundings, and everything appeared sharper. My senses overwhelmed me. I could see an ant on the ground 200 meters away, smell a stream 3.5 miles to my right, taste the air for impurities, feel every grain of sand beneath my paws, and hear hundreds of animals and birds doing what they do best: survive. I glanced back to see I had 5 tails. 5. Was I really that powerful? I transformed back into my full human form and noticed I felt significantly stronger. Do you like the new abilities, kid? It comes with enhanced senses, the ability to communicate with animals, and you can sense chakra like a pro. Even if they're trying to hide it, you can still find them. I love it, Kurama. Thank you for the gift. No problem, kid. In the morning, I get up, make breakfast, rice omelets, gather my things, and start running to the training field. When I arrive, no one else is there, so I sit down and begin meditating, focusing on my chakra and letting it flow. I don't know how long I've meditated, probably 2 hours at the most. I decide to have a little fun and create 5 shadow clones, instructing them to set up some traps and pranks that will be entertaining to watch. A few minutes later, the clones finish their tasks, and I snap out of my peaceful state when a loud voice fills the air. I open my eyes to see Naru and Nanami walking toward where I'm seated with Kushina. I told you, Nanami, I don't know where your special weapon pouch is. But someone must have taken it. Dad was in the office all night, and Mom was on a small mission, so the only one it could be is you. Their bickering is starting to give me a headache. Before I can get up to intervene, Kushina does so with a swift tap to their heads. Stop it, you two. You're going to wake up the whole village if you keep this up. Sorry, Mom. Yes, sorry. All right, now go sit so I can get started. They sit down by a rock in the middle of the training field. I decide to stay in the shadows and observe. Hiding my chakra, I jump up into a tree overhead and begin to watch the show. Okay, these are the rules. Kushina pulls out 2 gold bells and a clock from her weapons pouch. I'm going to set the clock for lunch. You have that long to get a bell from me. But Mom, there are only 2 bells and 3 genin. Nanami pipes up. That's right, Nanami. The reason is that only 2 of you will become genin. 1 of you will go straight back to the academy. Huh. But Mom. No buts. Now, back to the rules. If none of you get any bells, I will tie you to a tree and eat your lunch in front of you. The young Namike's siblings look stunned, their eyes wide and mouths agape, their stomachs rumbling. Where is Naruto? I hope he didn't sleep in, Nanami says while looking around for me. He was probably too scared to show up, Naru states, clearly not fond of me. Deciding I don't need to hear any more, I make my presence known. Actually, I've been here the entire time. Their heads snap toward my direction to see me hanging upside down from a tree branch. I jump down and land beside Naru. Now that we're all here, let's get this test started. 1, 2, 3, go! As soon as Kushina says, go, I leap into a tree overhead, completely hiding my chakra, and sprint to the other side of the clearing. Let the games begin. As soon as I'm in the forest, I hear 2 screams coming from the other side of the clearing. Mission accomplished. Nozomi 1, team. I look around the area. Kushina is 200 meters in front of me, Naru is 370 meters to the northeast, and Nanami is 460 meters to the north. Suddenly, Nanami bursts out of her hiding spot, covered in pink, red, and orange paint. She creates 20 shadow clones, 10 with kunai drawn and the other 10 forming hand seals. Water style, water torpedo jutsu. At the same time, 10 strong ball of water shoot out from the clones' mouths. Kushina skillfully dodges all the water ball and uses a katana strapped to her hip to deflect every kunai aimed at her. Then Kushina makes her move. Faster than the untrained eye can see, she sweeps Nanami off her feet and ties her up with chakra-eating rope. This rope drains just enough chakra so she can't break free, but not enough to cause harm, before removing all her weapons. Kushina moves the weapons to a safe spot atop a nearby boulder. Just as she finishes, a blue, green, and purple Naru springs out of the trees. Kushina and Naru start fighting with their blades, sparks flying from the pressure of each hit. Sweat drips from Naru's brow, while Kushina shows no signs of fatigue. A few hours pass, and Kushina has had enough fun. She swings her katana with more force than before, knocking Naru's blade clean out of his hand. While Naru is in shock, Kushina takes this opportunity to tie him up and place him next to his sister. Raining. The bell signaling the end of the test rings out. I jump into the clearing and stand beside the 2 defeated siblings. Well, I guess you all have to go back to the academy. Too bad, Kushina says with a deflated tone. I fake cough to get their attention. Kushina turns slightly to look at me. Yes, Naruto? Actually, Kushina-san, only Naru and Nanami will be going back to the academy. And why is that, Naruto? Because of this. I pull out 2 bells from my pocket. You're probably wondering how I got these bells. When Kushina and Naru were busy fighting, I had a clone transform into a beetle, crawl over to Kushina, sneak up her pants, snag the bells, and place a genjutsu over the spots to make it look like they were still there. The beetle crawled back to me and handed me the bells before dispelling. Now back to the present. Kushina looks at me, stunned, probably wondering how I got the bells. Then she looks down at her waist to see 2 empty spaces where the bells should be. After a moment of pondering, she looks up. Okay, so Naruto, you are now a ninja. Congratulations. But the others are still going back to the academy. No, they aren't. As soon as I finish my sentence, I toss the bells to Naru and Nanami's feet. I am. Kushina looks at me, surprised, then smiles at us. Congratulations. You all pass and are now officially genin of the leaf. Come back here tomorrow at 7 for your first mission. Then Kushina poofs away. The Uchiha massacre occurred, but since Minato is alive, more people survived. Mikoto was PRGNT when Itachi took action against the clan. The following Uchiha members are still alive. Sasuke's mother. Sasuke's sister, Megumi. 17 children between the ages of 4 and 14. 12 teenagers between the ages of 14 and 19. 6 young adults between the ages of 20 and 30. 7 adults between the ages of 31 and 50. In total, 45 Uchiha members remain. Sasuke's team will undertake the wave mission, but Kakashi will call for backup, which is where Nozomi's team comes in. Haku will survive, but Zabuza will not. Additionally, Haku is now included in the list of potential boyfriends for Nozomi. Nozomi propelled herself through the trees, her determination evident in her eyes. With a swift leap to the right, she landed on a branch and spoke into the earpiece. Orange Fox in position. Yellow fox in position, her teammate's voice came through a moment later. Red fox in position. It was now or never. Their target was in place, and they awaited their leader's command. Now, their leader's voice echoed through the earpiece, and they sprang into action. Nozomi quickly activated a ceiling tag she had invented, throwing it onto the target. The tag immobilized the target without causing any harm. Her team then secured the target and placed her in a cage. Is the target confirmed? Their leader asked from a branch overhead. Nozomi approached the cage and peered inside. There, she saw a small cat with a pink bow tied to its ear. Target confirmed as missing cat Tora, she replied. Good job to. Now let's report back to the Hokage. Kushina turned and headed toward the Hokage tower. Nozomi followed at the back, with Nanami in the middle holding the cage containing Tora, and Naru leading the way with Kushina. A few minutes later, they arrived at the Hokage tower with their target in hand. They ascended the many steps leading to the Hokage's office. Kushina knocked twice on the door, and a quiet "come in" was heard from the other side. She opened the door to reveal a tired Hokage buried in paperwork. Kushina stepped up to the desk and spoke. Team Fox reporting in. Was the mission successful? The capture of Tora was successful. The target was secured with minimal difficulty, and no harm has come to our team. I will call in the client. With a small wave of his hand, the Hokage summoned a ninja to retrieve the client. A few minutes later, the fire daimyo's wife entered the room and walked straight to the cage. Oh Tora, sweetheart, mommy missed you. Don't ever run away again. She lifted the cat out of the cage, holding it tightly. Feeling sympathy for the cat, Nozomi approached the daimyo's wife and gently loosened her grip. Almost immediately, Tora relaxed in her arms. The woman thanked Nozomi, paid for the mission, a bit more than necessary, and exited the room. Okay, Team Fox, you're done for today. Here is your payment for today's missions. The Hokage held out 4 envelopes filled with money, Nozomi's clearly containing a bit more than the others. They had completed 5 missions today, delivering medicine to the hospital, helping on a farm outside the gates, babysitting, assisting in building a house, and capturing the demon cat. As they left the Hokage building and entered the market area, Kushina turned to them. Okay, Team Fox, meet me tomorrow at 8:30 in the Hokage's office for our next mission. With that, she vanished in a flash. Naru and Nanami walked away, leaving Nozomi alone. So, Kit, wanna have some fun? And your idea? Let's go hunting. It will be fun, and if you do it in your fox form, it will help you get used to running on 4 legs. I agree with Kurama, Nozomi. It would be beneficial for your training. Fine, I'll head to the forest outside of Konoha to train a bit. Give me a few hours to get ready. This is amazing. The wind rushed around my fox-like body as I chased after a rabbit. The adrenaline surged through me, making me run faster than I ever thought possible. My paws pushed into the ground, and I leaped into the air, landing on the rabbit I was pursuing. With a swift motion, I ended its life. Good job, Kit. It only took you 5 minutes to catch that rabbit, 1.5 minutes less than the last one, Kurama praised. Is there anything else you want me to do, Kurama? I still have 3 more hours until I have to meet up with my team. Nope, you're done for tonight, Kit. Go get some sleep, you might need it for tomorrow. Oh, good night, Kurama. Good night, Yuki. Good night, Kit. Good night, Nozomi. I felt Kurama and Yuki's presence slowly fade away until they were completely gone from my mind. The darkness faded as I opened my eyes to a new day. Rolling over, I stood up but quickly tripped over my tangled bedsheets. After a moment of frustration, I managed to untangle my legs and stood up again, making my way to the bathroom this time without falling. I took a shower, had a small meal, and headed for my team's training ground. I arrived at the training ground an hour early, enjoying the rare silence that wouldn't last long. Nozomi, I was wondering if I could talk to you for a moment, Yuki said. Of course, Yuki. What do you need? I would like to ask if I could come out for a second. Aren't you stuck inside me? Yes, I am. But you could use my chakra. You want me to use your chakra? Is it really strong? In large amounts, yes. But in small amounts, it's just right for a nice boost of chakra. What do you want from me in return? Let me out once a month, and I'll share my chakra with you. Deal? I can agree to that. Suddenly, I was pulled out of my mind as Kushina appeared in front of me. The Hokage wants to speak with our team. Kushina grabbed my arm, and we disappeared in a swirl of water. We reappeared in the Hokage's office next to Naruto and Nanami. Good, you're all here. Team 11 and Team 7, today you will be assigned a C-rank mission to escort a bridge builder back to the Land of Waves. Let the client in. The office door opened almost immediately to reveal an elderly man with a bottle of sake in hand, a bag on his back, and a straw hat on his head. Are these brats the so-called ninjas who are supposed to protect me? The two girls look weak, and the blonde-haired one and the black-haired one look like they have sticks shoved where the sun doesn't shine. The pale boy creeps me out, and the last one. In a flash, I was beside the bridge builder, holding a kunai close to his throat. Is a skilled ninja who can end your life in seconds. Don't test me, I warned, slowly removing the kunai from his neck. The bridge builder looked pale, sweating, and shaking. My name is Tazuna, and you are going to escort me back to the Land of Waves. Team 11 and 7, your mission is to escort Tazuna, the bridge builder, back to his home in the Land of Waves. This is a C-rank mission, so you will need to pack enough supplies for 2 weeks. You are to meet at the North Gate in 1 hour. Are we clear? Yes, Hokage-sama. You are dismissed. I leaped out of the window onto a nearby building and made my way back to my apartment to pack. As I entered my apartment, I immediately grabbed a small bag and 4 sealing scrolls. The first scroll contained camping gear, 1 tent, 1 sleeping bag, a smokeless fire kit, a plastic tarp, a thermal blanket, and a few other essentials. The second scroll held clothes and toiletries, 3 shirts, 1 red, 1 dark purple, 1 black, 3 pairs of shorts, 2 black, 1 dark gray, 1 pair of black pants, 1 black sweater, a pair of ninja boots, an extra weapon pouch, soap, shampoo, conditioner, and deodorant. The third scroll was for weapons and gear. For weights, 100 kunai, 100 shuriken, a katana, a weapons cleaning kit, some ninja rope, and a variety of explosive tags and seals, including fire, water, sleeping gas, paralyzing gas, and poison gas. I also packed 5 vials of poison and their antidotes, hidden blades, chakra blades, and a small bag containing everything I needed to set traps. The last scroll held food, water, a few books, and instructions for a jutsu I had been trying to learn. With everything packed, I slung my bag over my shoulder and started walking toward the North Gates. Kit, after the mission, can I take care of the bridge builder? No, Kurama, you can't. Oh, come on, it will be quick and painless. But, said no, Kurama. Not even a small bit? Not even a nibble. Please, Nozomi, I won't ever ask for anything else again. We both know you wouldn't keep that promise. Fine, have it your way, he grumbled about how unfair Nozomi was being. I reached the North Gate without any further interruptions and saw that everyone else was already there. Naruto, you're late, the banshee screeched into my ear. Sorry, the old lady who lives next door to my apartment made cookies and invited me in for a cup of tea. I guess I lost track of time. My teammate's sweat dropped, and Kushina shook her head. Tazuna was drunk, so he didn't care. Well, now that we're all here, let's get walking. The trip to the Land of Waves is 3 days long. With that said, we started making our way to the Land of Waves. 5 hours later. I was so bored, nothing had happened. Kurama was asleep, and Yuki wouldn't talk to me. I had run out of games and ideas. Then I spotted a chance to free myself from this boredom. A puddle in the middle of the road with a very faint chakra signature coming off of it. Finally, some action. Nanami and Nara didn't notice a thing. I brought my eyes up and locked them with Kushina. She nodded, letting me know she sensed someone in the puddle. Chains with claws at the end burst out of the puddle, wrapping around a log Kushina had substituted out with. 1 down, 2 to go. In front of us were 2 men, both missing Nin from the mist, each holding a chain. Nanami and Nara gasped while I jumped into action. I took out my kunai and drove the chains into the ground. I ran up to the two men and delivered a punch to their chins, making them let go of their chains and take a few steps back. While they were disoriented, I performed a few hand signs and called out, "Water release, water severing wave." A large stream of water shot out of my mouth, catching the two ninjas and pushing them back into a tree. Naru finally snapped out of it and grabbed some ninja rope, tying the ninjas to the tree. Kushina stepped out from behind the tree and said, "Good job, Naruto and Naru. Now let's find out what these two want." A few minutes later, they were after Tazuna. It turns out that some power-hungry individual is trying to kill Tazuna because if the bridge is built, he won't be able to control the people of the waves. So, he has paid Missing Nin to do the dirty work. This mission just got a lot more exciting. Well, what are you guys waiting for? Let's get going. The Land of Waves needs a bridge, and that won't happen without a bridge builder. Naruto, you can't be serious. This mission could easily be an A or B rank. You could get hurt on a mission like this. I suggest we make camp. I will write a letter to Minato explaining what's going on, and he can send a more qualified team. We're only an hour or two away from the waves. How about once we get there, we call for reinforcements? Besides, I have a feeling we can handle this mission for a while longer. Okay, but if it gets out of hand, I'm getting us out of there. Oh, this is going to be fun. Chapter end. We walked a few more miles to a small dock that was well hidden in a cave. Tazuna whistled a small tune when a small boat with a man came into the cave. Observing from a distance, I could tell it was old and small. It looked like if any more weight was added, it would capsize. The boat pulled up to the dock, and the man motioned us to be quiet, then to get on the boat. Slowly, everyone piled on except for me, Kakashi, and Kushina. Kushina looked at me and said, "What are you waiting for, Naruto? Get on the boat." "No thanks, I think I'm going to walk." Without any warning, I took a step and started walking on water. Everyone looked surprised, a little stunned even. Kushina and Kakashi soon followed my example and started walking alongside me. "So, Tazuna, what is the Land of Waves like?" Sakura asked, trying to start some small talk. The Land of Waves is a very poor country. Gato controls everything, the taxes are high, and a lot of people are homeless. Many children are orphans. That is why I'm building the bridge to create a better future for my country. The rest of the trip was silent. A few hours later, a giant half-built bridge could be seen through the fog. "Holy cow, that thing is huge." Naru said a little louder than he meant. "Shh, be quiet, brat. I'm trying not to be spotted. Why do you think the motor was off when we got close?" "Sorry, sir." We reached the dock in one piece and started on our way to Tazuna's house. While we walked, Naru decided to show everyone his skills by randomly throwing kunai into the bushes. Sakura fell for his charm and started saying how strong Naru was. Naru threw his last kunai into a bush on his left. The kunai entered the bush, and a small white rabbit darted out. A white rabbit in the middle of summer? The only way a white rabbit could stay white in the summer is if it was raised in captivity. A soft, high-pitched noise and a fast-moving object were coming closer at high speed. This could only mean one thing. "Everybody get down." I hit the ground just as a huge blade embedded itself in the tree right above my head. I quickly got out from under the blade and stood next to Kakashi. Standing on top of the blade was none other than Zabuza of the Bloody Mist. Without hesitation, I said, "Zabuza, when you go down, can I have your sword?" Chapter end. You have it all messed up, kid. You're the one who's going to die. His killing intent overwhelmed the team. Sasuke and Naru had gone pale, Sakura and Nanami looked faint, Sai was, well, he wasn't fazed in the slightest. Kakashi's eyes darkened, and Kushina drew her blade. I was curious about my reaction, so I unleashed a more powerful killer intent and drew my blade. "Sorry, Zabuza, I think I misheard you. I thought you said I was the one who was going to die. Let me guess, you really said, 'Oh Naruto-sama, it would be an honor if you killed me and wielded my weapon as your own.' Am I right?" My eyes flashed red as I extended my blade towards him, flashing a menacing grin. Zabuza hopped off his blade and removed it from the tree. He turned away from me and said, I was going to let everyone live if only you handed over the bridge builder. Well. He turned around, shooting me the darkest look he could muster. I guess Konoha will have one less ninja to worry about. Naruto, stand down. He is too strong for a genin like you. That is Zabuza Momochi of the Bloody Mist. He is an rank missing nin. Let me and Kakashi handle it. Kushina yelled at me as she and Kakashi moved in front of me, shielding me from Zabuza's glare. Naruto, protect the bridge builder with the others. Me and Kushina will take care of this. The last thing I saw before the mist enveloped us was Kakashi's closed-eyed smile. 8 points. Clerics, spine, lungs, liver, jugular, subclavian artery, kidney, heart. Now, which will be my attack point? Zabuza's killing intent surrounded us, making it hard to breathe and move, all of us knowing that even the slightest movement could provoke his attack. Kushina and Kakashi spiked their chakra, clearing the mist around us. We still couldn't see Zabuza, but we could see each other. I looked behind me to see my teammates. Sasuke and Nair had their weapons pointed at their chests, ready to defend themselves. Sakura and Nanami were shaking like leaves, while Sai remained unfazed. Sasuke, Nair, calm down. We will protect you with our lives. All of you, we will not allow our comrades to die. Trust us. Kakashi gave us a closed-eyed smile, and Kushina nodded in agreement. I wouldn't be so sure. Zabuza appeared behind Nanami and Sakura, standing in front of Tazuna. It's over. In a flash, Kakashi and Kushina lunged at Zabuza with kunai, but instead of blood pouring out of the hole in his chest, water began leaking out. He was a water clone, but that meant, Sensei's behind you. Zabuza slashed through Kakashi and Kushina, but thankfully, they were only clones. Kakashi turned into water, and Kushina dispelled into smoke. I took my turn in the action, quickly slicing Zabuza across the chest 4 times, but it was just another clone. Nice shot, kid. You killed my clone, but that's not going to happen again. Hey, kid, take this one down for me, won't you? This guy here is doubting your skill. I could just. Kurama, calm down. Nozomi needs to focus, but I'm with Kurama, Nozomi. Wind style, great wind torrent. Wind swept through the clearing, and the mist dispersed. Zabuza, Kakashi, and Kushina stood on the water nearby. It was as if time stood still, if only for a moment. Zabuza charged forward, slashing at Kakashi and Kushina with his sword. They rolled out of the way. Kakashi threw kunai at him while Kushina used her chakra chains. Zabuza dodged both. Zabuza and Kakashi began making rapid hand signs, and at the same time, they shouted, "Water style, water dragon." 2 water dragons rose up out of the water, crashing into each other and canceling the attacks. This went on for a few more minutes, neither side landing a single hit on their opponent until Zabuza knocked both Kakashi and Kushina into the water and quickly performed a few rapid hand signs. Water style, water prison. 2 orbs of water emerged from the lake, trapping our senseis inside. Naruto, Sai, take your teammates and Tazuna and run. You are no match for him. Please leave and get Tazuna and yourselves to safety. Sorry, Sensei, I can't abandon you. That would make me worse than scum. In a flash, I was in front of Zabuza, my katana drawn. He blocked my attack with his blade, knocking me back a few feet. He created 6 clones and sent them my way. Sai joined me on the water, pulling out a scroll and paintbrush. He brought the paintbrush down onto the scroll, did a hand sign, and 3 tigers made of ink leaped out. Sai and his tigers took on 4 of Zabuza's clones. I slashed at the other 2 clones, and they dispersed into water. I ran straight at Zabuza, but he brought his sword down and struck me. Nice try, kid. You were good but not good enough. Oh really? My clone turned into water, and as I emerged behind Zabuza, I slashed at his back to avoid getting hit. Zabuza had to jump out of the way, and the orbs broke, freeing my senseis. Good work, Naruto. Sai will take it from here. Kakashi kicked Zabuza onto the land and chased after him. After a few minutes of fighting, Kakashi had Zabuza pinned to a tree, kunai at his neck. You're right, it is over. Senbon shot out from a nearby tree and struck Zabuza's neck. He went limp and fell to the ground. Thank you for catching Zabuza. I've been tracking him for a while, and you just made my job so much easier. A hunter ninja jumped down from their hiding spot and landed beside Zabuza. Kushina bent down and placed her hand on Zabuza's neck. He's dead. Thanks again. I'll take this from here. The hunter ninja threw Zabuza's arm over his shoulder and left. Good work, team. Now let's get to Zuna home. Kakashi took one step and collapsed, unconscious. Kakashi-sensei. Naruto, carry Kakashi. Team 7, Team 11, move out. I threw Kakashi over my shoulder and started walking. Time skip no jutsu. Well, it's not much, but it's home, Tazuna said as we walked up to his house. Compared to most of the other homes I had seen in the Land of Waves, his house was one of the nicest ones so far, even if the front deck was broken and the roof was falling apart. Father. Grandpa. Everyone, this is my daughter Tsunami and my grandson Iri. Thank you for bringing my father back safely. Inari looked at me, then at the rest of my team. You're all going to die. Leave now and save yourselves. I wasn't looking forward to staying here. Zabuza stood on the bridge, his heart racing as he faced his destiny. The mist swirled around him, a reflection of the turmoil within. He had always been a rogue ninja, but now he found himself at a crossroads. Would he choose to fight for his life, or would he embrace a new path? As the battle raged on, Zabuza felt the weight of his choices pressing down on him. The thought of returning to the hidden mist village to aid the rebellion flickered in his mind, a chance for redemption. But what would that mean for Haku, his loyal companion? Would he be left to carry on without him, or would he find a way to honor Zabuza's legacy? In the heat of the moment, Zabuza's resolve hardened. He knew that if he fell, his sword would not simply be a weapon, it would become a symbol of his struggle. Haku or Naruto could inherit it, but would they understand its significance? As the fight reached its climax, Zabuza considered the consequences of his actions. If he were to join Konoha, what punishment would he face? Would he be placed under strict supervision, or would he be confined to the village, unable to roam freely? The uncertainty loomed over him like a dark cloud. Meanwhile, Haku's future hung in the balance. Would he be able to participate in the Chunin exams, or would he remain a genin, held back by circumstances beyond his control? The stakes were high, and every decision could change their fates forever. With determination in his eyes, Zabuza prepared to make his choice, knowing that whatever path he took would shape not only his destiny but also the lives of those he cared for. Inari, don't say that. Thank you for looking after my father. I hope he didn't give you too much trouble, I said. He was a perfect client, Nara replied, her voice dripping with sarcasm. Sigh, I expected as much. Well, come inside. I've just put dinner on the table. She turned towards the house and opened the door, allowing us all to walk inside. Time skip. After dinner, we headed to our assigned rooms. I was with Sasuke, Naru, and Sai, while Sakura and Nanami took the other guest room, and Kakashi and Kushina took the last one. Why do we have to room with you? Can't you sleep outside with all the other mangy beasts? Naru said, her tone sharp. Oh, I'm so sorry, Your Majesty. I am not worthy of your oh-so-great presence. I don't deserve to breathe the same air as you, I replied, wielding sarcasm like a weapon. Naru threw a kunai at me, and I ducked just in time for it to hit the wall behind me. I'm going to be the bigger person and leave now, I said, opening the window, grabbing my bag, and jumping onto the roof. Hey kid, ready for some training? Kurama's voice echoed in my mind. Yeah, I'm ready. I closed my eyes and entered my mindscape. Kurama stood in front of me, Yuki by his side. We're not going to go easy on you, Kit, Kurama warned. You've never gone easy on me, and I hope you never will, I replied. Let's get started. I spent the rest of the night training in Fuinjutsu, my fox transformation, and Kenjutsu. As dawn broke, I slipped back into the room I was supposed to sleep in. After taking care of my sanitary needs in the nearest bathroom, I exited the house and wandered through the forest until I found a clearing with a few trees. Using a kunai, I carved a target into the largest tree and threw sunban at it, repeating the process until I sensed multiple chakras approaching. My teammates were finally up. Kit, why don't you give them a show? Kurama suggested. Okay, why not? I drew my katana, infused it with chakra, and sliced through the air just as my teammates walked into the clearing with our senseis. Ha, Naruto, you're so weak, you didn't even come close to hitting the tree, one of them mocked. As soon as he finished his insult, about 25 trees fell, each with a clean cut at the trunk. What were you saying? I asked, smirking. He glared at me, muttering under his breath. Okay, teams, today you are going to climb trees. Kakashi began. That's easy, sensei. Nanami interjected. Without using your hands, Kakashi finished, smiling at us with his eyes closed. What? It's impossible. Sakura screeched, her voice piercing. Kakashi turned around, walking up a tree as if it were flat ground. The trick is to pool chakra into your feet, making sure it's not too much or too little. If you use too much, you'll break the tree. Too little, and you won't stick, he explained, now walking upside down on a low branch. He threw 6 kunai at our feet. Use those kunai to mark the highest point you can reach. Oh, and I suggest you run at the tree. Everyone grabbed a kunai and ran at a tree, everyone except me. Sai, Sakura, and Nanami made it up the tree on their first try, while Sasuke and Naruto took 2 steps and crashed to the ground. Naruto, why aren't you training? Naruto asked. I don't want to move, it's too troublesome, I replied. Naruto. Fine. I casually walked up to the tree and continued walking calmly up it until I reached the top. Can I leave now, sensei? Sai, yes, you may leave. Finally, I could get some real training done. Nozomi's POV. I ran a couple of kilometers away from the training site where all the other genin were. I stopped when I came across a small clearing with a stream running alongside it. I created 10 shadow clones to start my training session. Okay, I want all of you to split into 12 groups of 10. One group works on kenjutsu, the next on chakra control. I continued assigning tasks until they were all thoroughly occupied. Once they were busy, I walked over to the stream, got down on the ground, and started meditating. I'm bored, Kurama's voice echoed in my mind. So, I'm really bored. What do you want, Kurama? Can you summon me so I can cure my boredom? Not now, Kurama. Please, 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 please. Kurama kept begging until his voice became all I could hear, getting louder and higher pitched until I finally snapped. All right, I'll summon you. Yes. I could almost hear him doing a victory dance. Rolling my eyes under my eyelids, I quickly performed the hand signs and summoned Kurama. He appeared not as a giant 9-tailed fox but as a 1-tailed fox the size of a large dog. There, you're out. Now leave me alone so I can meditate in peace, I said. Okay, I'll leave. Be back in 3 hours, and no more than 3 hours, Kurama, or I'll put the green beast of Konoha in your den back in my mindscape and make him give you a youthful hug. You wouldn't dare. He will shower you with his undying bright flames of youth. Oh God, you're not the kind of person who would do that, right, Nozomi? Try me. Fine, I'll be back in 3 hours. See you then, Kit. Kurama dashed into the forest, away from the clearing. Sighing, I turned my full attention back to my meditation. Minutes flowed by like the water in the stream nearby, and before I knew it, 3 hours had passed. All my clones dispelled themselves, leaving me to process the information they had gathered. I opened my eyes to see Kurama sitting in front of me, waiting for me to put him back into the seal. Thanks for letting me out, Kit. Once I'm back in your mindscape, I'm going to take a nap. With that, I unsummoned Kurama back into my mindscape. I got up, collected my things, and made my way back to Tazuna's house. I finally reached Tazuna's house, and to my surprise, Kushina and Kakashi are standing at the front door waiting for me. I walk inside, and they follow closely behind. The rest of the 2 teams are gathered around the table, waiting for Tsunami to finish cooking dinner. Sasuke and Naruto look exhausted as they lay on the table, panting heavily. Sai, Sakura, and Nanami are a bit sweaty but are nowhere near as worn out as Sasuke and Naruto. I sit beside Sai, knowing he is the only one who won't verbally attack me just for sitting down. Tsunami brings dinner to the table and everyone fills their plates and begins to eat. Halfway through the meal, Sakura spots a picture on a nearby table. She points to it and asks, "Who is the man in the photo?" The atmosphere in the room shifts. Inari bows his head, his hair covering his eyes. Tazuna's grip on his sake bottle tightens until his knuckles turn white, and Tsunami's eyes gloss over with unshed tears. Tsunami opens her mouth to respond. "He was my husband." Inari slams his hand on the table, looking up with tears held back. He gets up and heads toward what I assume is the kitchen. Tsunami reaches out to stop him from leaving, but Tazuna grabs her wrist, shaking his head silently, urging her not to go after Inari. Tsunami sighs and sits back down at the table. Sakura, unable to read the atmosphere, speaks up. "What happened to your husband?" This question prompts Tsunami to share an in-depth story about how her late husband saved Inari's life, how he was a hero in the Land of Waves, and how he was killed by Gado's men in front of the townspeople, including Inari. By the end of her story, Sakura, Nanami, and Kushina have tears in their eyes. Kakashi, Sasuke, and Naruto seem lost in deep thought. As for Sai and me, we remain unfazed. Both of us have either been through worse or have strong emotional masks. Inari returns to the room, standing in the doorway with tears in his eyes. He opens his mouth and starts yelling at us, claiming that we are all going to die and that there are no such things as heroes. He expresses how horrible his life has been. Finally I snap. "Well, at least you have a mother and grandfather who love you. I was kicked out of the orphanage and had to live on the streets or in a rundown apartment. I've never had a single friend my age in my life. I was hunted down every year on my birthday to be beaten, never knowing why. If you think your life is bad, try living a day in mine." By the end of my rant, I'm standing in front of Inari, my fists clenched at my sides, my bangs shadowing my eyes, and my breath coming in heavy gasps. Inari looks at me with fear in his eyes and rushes past me to what I assume is his bedroom. I walk toward the door. Once I place my hand on the doorknob, I turn my head and say, "I'm going to go train. Please don't bother me, I'll be back at breakfast." Without another word, I open the door and run off into the forest to find a place to train. Nozomi's POV. I ran into the woods, seeking a place to release my pent-up anger. I stumbled upon a clearing far enough from town that no one would find me. Grabbing one of my kunai, I yelled as I began to slash at a tree. How could Inari think his childhood was the worst? Did he live without knowing his parents for the first few years of his life? Did he endure daily hatred from those around him without understanding why? But I did. I threw the kunai to the ground and started punching the tree. Splinters dug into my knuckles, and I felt the sting of pain. "Kids, stop it. The only thing you're accomplishing is hurting yourself," Kurama urged. I agree with Kurama, Nozomi. This isn't the way to release your anger. Then what do? I drop to my knees, gripping the grass. "Talk to us. We've been with you since the very beginning. We've seen everything that has ever happened to you. We have literally seen the world through your eyes." Okay. I began to share my thoughts with Kurama and Yuki, recounting my past, the academy, and this mission. Soon I felt my anger dissipate. As time passed, fatigue washed over me, and I lay back, staring at the stars above. "Thank you, Yuki, Kurama. I really needed that." "No need to thank us, it was our pleasure." What she said. "Now, I know you're not in the mood to return to the bridge builder's house, but..." "No, Yuki, I can't go back tonight." "What will you tell your team?" "I'll just say I fell asleep after overexerting myself." "Good night, Nozomi." "Good night, Kit." "Good night, Yuki." "Good night, Kurama." I rolled over, using my arms as a pillow, closed my eyes, and fell asleep. Nozomi's POV. "Wake up. You're going to catch a cold sleeping on the ground like that." I felt someone shaking my shoulder. I opened my eyes and stared up at the person kneeling beside me. They wore a pink kimono and had long black hair and dark eyes. "What are you doing out in the woods?" I asked as I sat up. "I'm collecting herbs for my sick friend. they replied, gesturing to a basket of herbs at their feet. Would you like some help? I offered. They nodded and showed me which herbs to gather. After their basket was full, I turned to them and asked, So, how's Zabuza? They looked shocked for a moment before narrowing their eyes. How did you? You have the same chakra signature as the hunter Nin who saved Zabuza. Don't worry, I don't want to hurt you or Zabuza. I just want to make you a deal. And why should I make a deal with you? Because this deal will save your lives. What do you mean? The person who hired you to kill the bridge builder, Gato, will eliminate you once you complete your job. I don't have proof, just a gut feeling. All I ask is 5 minutes of your time. They leaned closer, looking me in the eyes. You have 5 minutes. Nozomi's POV. Once Zabuza is fully healed, I want you to come to the bridge. Instead of attacking the Konoha ninja, you'll team up with us to take down Gato and return all his money to the people of the waves. The stranger crossed their arms. What's in it for me and my master? In return, I will help you gain citizenship in Konoha. No more running from bounty hunters. You both will finally have a place to call home. After a moment of silence, the stranger spoke. I don't know if my master will agree to this. I will tell him about your proposal. All I ask is for you both to think it over. I don't want to fight you, but if it comes down to protecting the bridge builder, I will do what I must. I started walking in the direction of Tazuna's home. By the way, my name is Naruto. I hope you make the right choice. My name is Haku. As soon as Haku finished speaking, I disappeared into the forest. Nozomi's POV. The next day, Kushina assigned me to guard the bridge with Sai and Sakura. Naru, Sasuke, and Nanami still struggled to climb trees without using their hands, so they stayed behind to train with the two Jounin senseis. I sat on a crate with Sai to my right while Sakura stood nearby, watching the road leading to the bridge. I observed the men working with Tazuna to build the bridge, and honestly, there weren't many workers. Tazuna mentioned that there used to be more, but they left after being threatened by Gato's men, wanting to keep their families safe. He understood their decision, but losing nearly half his workers meant the bridge would take twice as long to complete. I saw the state of the village when we walked here this morning. Gato had been robbing these people of everything they had. I witnessed children begging instead of playing and men working tirelessly to feed their families, barely managing to put scraps on the table. The men working for Tazuna were striving for a better life for the entire land of waves, not just themselves. I decided I couldn't just sit and watch any longer. I jumped off my crate and approached Tazuna, who was hunched over some blueprints nearby. Hey, Tazuna, I have a question, I said as I reached him. He looked up at me before returning his gaze to the blueprints. Ask away, kid. How many more people would you need to finish the bridge in about 2 weeks? Probably 30 more workers. Why do you ask, kid? There's a way I can get you the workers you need. Kid, nobody else in town is brave enough to work on this bridge. I wasn't talking about those in town. I was talking about me. Tazuna chuckled and shook his head. Kid, I don't think you understand how math works. I said I needed 30 workers, and there's only one of you. That's nothing a few shadow clones won't change. A few what? I made the required hand signs, and a cloud of smoke enveloped us. When the smoke cleared, there were 30 shadow clones standing behind me. Now for my second question. What do you want them to do? Tazuna looked amazed. I need more wooden planks from the shore brought onto the bridge. Some of my team could use assistance getting the support beams in place, and we need more nails and bolts from the village. I assigned 14 clones to gather more planks, another 14 to help with the support beams, and the last 2 were sent into the village for the necessary supplies. Thank you. No problem, old man. I'm glad I can help. I turned around and walked back to the crate I had been sitting on, noticing Sakura staring at me in disbelief. As I passed by her, I said, Our village may call me a demon and claim that I am evil. I hope this shows you that they are mistaken.